Welcome back, everybody, to Out at Reese's podcast. I'm your host, Reese Shalvis, and unfortunately, you may notice our lovely co-host, Devon Anderson, isn't here today. He couldn't make it, but for the first time in Out at Reese's history, we have our very first guest. We have the young hip-hop, soon-to-be hip-hop star. He's going to take the country by storm. Young royalty.
Thanks for having me. I mean, I feel like I'm just an artist. I don't like to put it in a category. I'm around a lot of hip-hop people, and that's, like, what's going on here. But I'm not trying to just stick in one lane. I'm trying to give you guys everything. So stay watching, even if you're not a hip-hop fan.
I like it. So let's get to know you for a minute.
Okay.
Let's just tell us about yourself.
Well, I mean, I grew up here in Utah. First generation. My family came from Caribbean, so I've been just making music. I like to play basketball, hang out with homies, do regular stuff. But yeah, I've really been making music recently, trying to get like out there, connect with a lot of people, and this is part of it. I feel like using our arts, so. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
I like it. So I just want to kind of start off with a question. It's kind of just jumping in there, but I really want to know, because I don't even think I've personally asked you. Well, which I want to cover, by the way. I've known Tyler since 9th grade.
Yeah, like it's funny how we even met too. It was,
I know
it wasn't even
weird.
the first day of school.
That was like actually crazy.
The first meetup, because like the school was just starting. Like, this was back, like, 2015, right?
2014.
2014,
2014, it's like August.
Yeah.
Right before the school year started.
And it's like, this school was like, all right, we doing no homework. Like, this shit's revolutionary. We gonna do this shit big. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'll try out this shit. They had a basketball court there. That's where I met you.
Yeah.
So
wait. No, it wasn't the basketball court. It was by the auditorium, kind of outside, and this girl walks up, and he's like,
right.
"Hey, what's your name?" I'm like, "Reese," and then she's like, "Come here." I follow her, and then she goes up to you and is like, "Hey, what's your name?" It's like, "Tyler." It's like, "Okay, here, you guys get to know each other," and then here we are. What, 9 years later?
That's true.
That's
we
crazy.
Still doing it. We still we've been doing our stuff. Remember, we tried to in that we were only there for 1 year together, so I was only there for 1 year, and we was trying to do like a YouTube channel this whole fucking time, and one of us would take the anchor and put the weight on everybody's back, and then the other person would take it. Everybody else would lag off, but. That was a fun year. I ain't gonna lie.
Dude,
there was a lot of
it was a crazy school, man.
It was so different because of how the school operated. It
was a charter school.
Interesting.
So
it wasn't even a charter school. Spoiler alert, them niggas went bankrupt. There was some shit happening at that school that yeah, it was a fun place to be at, though. It used to be an art gallery, so it was super freaking dope just to be in there. There was trees inside of the school.
There's trees. They made an almost what would you say, because they made the auditorium feel like you're outside with the walls looking outside buildings, right?
And yeah, they had them looking like houses on there. There's a main hall, then you go to there was an upstairs section if you went to the left, and that was the middle school for younger people. Then we had our high school on the right, and that shit was just base level.
Yeah, it was kindergarten
area.
Kindergarten to 12th grade.
It was
to that school.
Damn.
That's crazy though.
They built it up. It's they really were doing some stuff. I was like, damn, this school is pretty cool. I feel like it could go on for a while. And I was like, damn. These niggas are shutting down.
Yeah, they aren't in business anymore. But.
What's happening with the teachers? Oh, damn, I didn't know. Oh, that was my teacher, too. Damn. But, yeah. That was a fun school to be at.
Oh, yeah.
But I went to Bingham in South Jordan at Bingham. So, that was a pretty fun place, too. That's where I came out of. Where'd you go to high school after?
I went to Viewmont High.
Viewmont?
Yeah, just kind of, bountiful Utah.
Yeah, very
But
different.
it's honestly, I mean, going from that school to public school is way different. I mean, not that I wasn't used to public school since that's where I grew up, but you know. But like one thing about that school was it was so easy to slack off and not do anything.
That is
That was
true.
me the 2 years that I attended that school, and my grades just
Bro, my grades are amazing because I'm so lazy that like they allowed me to do everything at the start. So I just finished the shit at the start. I'd like grind for like the first week and get everything done, and then I just slack off the whole rest of the time.
yeah, it was a fun school though. Like minus the I feel like the system just wasn't set up very well.
Yeah, now that we have Corona and like people actually went online school, like definitely full electronic. It's like that school would make more sense now
It
times.
really
It
would.
was like it was very early before the internet was really used at like this big scale that it is now.
Yeah, for sure. But so that's kind of a brief history on how I met Tyler and
Yeah. In our little high school, little weird ass high school. I ain't even gonna name drop it. But you guys pass it every day if you going on I-15.
yeah, or isn't it kind of by Bangor?
Um, no, like you see it when you're going by I-15.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Oh shit.
but
Anyways,
that's all we gonna give y'all.
well,
We not gonna let y'all know everything about
not
it.
yet at least, right?
Yeah. If I come on my like third podcast, I might drop that shit. But we'll keep y'all wondering.
Anyways, so Tyler, you're going on tour, man.
Like, yeah, it's true.
That's crazy. Like I don't know, like that's just it's so crazy to me that one of my friends who I'm growing up with, he's going on a freaking tour around the country. He, LA this weekend, Miami next month, or
End of this month,
and
so like same month. But
so
yeah,
it's called Storm Tour.
yeah,
It's
it's the Storm Tour. Like we'll be in LA April 2nd. Like this place is going we're going to a lot of cities. So we're going to be in Tri-Cities after that in Washington. By the end of the month we'll probably be more on the East Coast like Miami, there'll be an Atlanta show. So just keep looking out for that. But
I
yeah,
mean,
the Storm Tour is really lit. Like the people that we're doing it with, like we're not just some artists that are just trying to do like do a lot of trendy shit. We're trying to like grow as like a unit together. Not only as artists like putting on the show, but also people who can come experience this show. Cause everybody's really a piece of the puzzle. So it's like come in, tap in. Like we're not people that you have to like fan over. It's like if you want to like shoot us a DM, we're gonna respond. If you want to hop in our Discord, we're gonna like be there with you. It's like it's just a bunch of cool ass people doing some cool ass things, and we're trying to do it at the biggest level that we can. So then we can just get all our people to eat, get all of our people to make money, all our people to have fun.
I couldn't have said it better than myself. Like I said, he's taking the country by storm. Him and all these other artists. Which, by the way, this weekend when we actually go, I'm gonna try and get as many of them on the next podcast as I can. It's gonna be sick. We're gonna be interviewing
Yeah,
them.
y'all see that too. Y'all saw me I'm starting out right now, but y'all about to see me soon again. Like, I'm gonna give y'all 2 episodes.
Which that brings me to the question: what do you want to bring new, and what do you want to bring to the music industry?
Me, I'm like, I feel like I like to think about stuff. Like, I like meditation. Meditation is really dope. And I feel like I like to contemplate things. I like to make my own decisions, and I like to think for myself. And that music is kind of a tool that's helped me do that. So something that I'm trying to bring to music is more of that. Like, people know how to get lit. People know how to like put out a vibe. But I'm trying to give a little bit more thought to it, which I mean, it feels like a lot of artists, like conscious artists and whatever, but I'm trying to make it lit. I'm trying to give it like digestible where you can experience it if you are that person who only likes to listen to lit shit. You can come out to a show. We'll go crazy. But also, we don't have to go crazy all the time and just turn up and mosh pit and wild out. Like, we can be intense with different feelings. Like, damn, this some smooth shit. Damn, this is some shit I could really like let loose to just let out some feelings, just let off a type of energy. But I'm just trying to give a lot. Trying to get. I feel like there's a lot to myself that I'm learning with music, and it's just a way of trying to get it to everybody else in some type of form or fashion.
So you feel like you want to be able to connect with your fans that you are gonna start growing as you kind of make your way in the music world.
Yeah, I want to connect with I want to be able to connect with a lot of people, and I think the thing I'm trying to do with my music too is connect those people differently. It's like people can get sucked in genres or like one type of artist. I want a lot of different people to be able to vibe to my shit and all come together and vibe together too. See what we can create, what kind of culture we can create doing that.
Relatability.
Relatability. I feel like if you look at like the internet and like all this shit, you'll see like so many ways of classifications of how we make ourselves distinct. And it's true, everybody wants to be different, but like the bare fact is like 90%, like so much of it is just the same. It's like we really relate on so much more than people think.
Yeah, and that like I mean that kind of brings up this point like there's like there's like hundreds of thousands of videos of like how to make it big, how to be successful, right?
Yeah.
And in all reality, while I'm sure a lot of those videos make great points, and I'm sure that's how they made it, if it's coming from someone that has made it in whatever industry they're trying to be in, but everyone's different, right? Everyone's story is different, and it's all about how you write yours. And if you need to take, obviously listen to people who have been successful, but try not to just replicate them. If you try to
It's
just
true.
copy someone, you ain't gonna really go anywhere.
It's true. And it's a big distinction because copying somebody is different from taking influence from somebody. It's like most of the stuff we do today, we take influence and we rock it in our own style and kind of like remix it.
I mean, just about every idea or thought that we kind of have about stuff
Yeah,
is kind of influenced from something else. Like,
it's true. It's never just, oh, I created this whole ass idea by myself. No, it's like you were put in like positions and like you were around different type of influences for you to comprehend it in the way that you did that worked for you. But I feel like there's a distinction from copying, and I think it's like fanning. It's like where you really place, like, what's your main attention and where you really coming from? Are you trying to sound like this person, or are you trying to develop yourself to sound the way you want to? And maybe you're taking influence from this guy who you found, all right, he does this really well. How does he implement it into his style? How did he learn how to do it? And then how can I do it? Versus, all right, this dude sounding like this. I need to make my shit sound like this. And it's more thinking deeper into it. So I like to do, like, think. I like to figure out new ways to do shit.
yeah, it's like you take sorry, I just lost my train of thought there for a minute. It's like instead of just trying to be somebody else, sound like somebody else, look like somebody else, right?
Yeah.
It's all about finding your own style. You find what makes you essentially. Like it's all about bringing out your inner self and and showing it to the world like in different forms. Like music, you like to bring yourself out to the world in music.
Yeah.
Maybe it's comedy YouTube videos, maybe it's whatever it may be. Find your style. And the reason I'm going to reference parkour is because I grew up in a very parkour oriented family. But like parkour artists as artists.
Now you can say artist.
I guess that works, but
that shit is an art. That when we was back at when we met in high school, that shit influenced me a lot. Like that way of thinking and that way of traversing. It's like it was unconventional, and you were able to do it like at a pretty good level, and like you're around people doing it pretty good, like at pretty good levels. I remember we went to like a gymnasium, and we were just
I
trying.
remember that gymnastics gym.
That shit was fun as fuck. It's like jumping around, doing flips. Okay, yeah, that shit was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But on my point for why I bring up parkour is because everyone that does parkour and when they get good at it, that's the thing is you won't really find your style. You won't really find your what you want to bring that's unique. You won't really find it until you start getting good at it and practice and consistency, right? So like with parkour, everyone that starts getting good at parkour, they start finding their own kind of style. Like, to a degree, I'm sure they'll copy other, of maybe these bigger and better, parkour tracers, style, but as they get better, they'll start developing their own style that they've learned from everyone else. And it's just a way of them, showing their own style that they've created and not necessarily just trying to replicate someone else's work,
Because, like, it starts with you, and, like, other people can still help you, but it's like what works for somebody else isn't going to exactly work for you. And when I say is exactly is because it may still work for you in some type of way. It's just on you to figure out what it is. I like this podcast and stuff, bro. First time being here. First podcast for royalty.
Yeah, bro. First. Definitely expect to see him back. He's actually going to be filling in as my co-host for the Storm Tour podcast.
It's Storm Tour season, so we taking it out at Reese's. We taking out.
we taking.
I was trying to come up with something clever for that, but yeah, it didn't come out.
We taking it out at Reese's Storm Tour 2022, baby.
We out at Reese's. We about to take Reese out at.
We about to take Reese out at Reese's.
Reese is about to go out to the Storm Tour. Fuck that shit.
Oh. Out of Reese's. So I'm going to the store to buy more Reese's for Storm Tour 2022.
Yes, sir. I'm going to eat cereal in the car, and I'm pouring my milk first.
Okay. Maybe we should drive separate.
I'm going to Snapchat that shit so everybody sees it.
I'm actually thinking we should drive separate.
Hey, bro. You already locked yourself in here. You can't go nowhere.
Doors are blocked.
Yo, guys. Shout out if y'all want to vlog for this shit. I know y'all like the milk first. Actually, I like to microwave my milk.
No, you actually remember that, yeah.
This, like...
It's warm milk's actually pretty good.
Nah, like, it is good, like, with cereal. It's like, why we be having cold-ass cereal all the fucking time? My dad used to do it, and he's from Jamaica, and they used to do it all the time. And I was like...
I've heard that's kind of unique to the United States.
Really?
It's cold cereal.
Oh.
I think. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be. But I swear I've heard it somewhere that cold cereal is, like, not normal in most places. But I could be wrong.
I mean, I do know, like, in places in Europe, like Spain, they will do it hot cereal.
It sounds good.
So,
I think I've tried it once, but I can't remember.
Yeah. That's what I thought was normal growing up. And then people had all these things like, oh, you pour the fucking cereal first. You can't pour the milk. It's like, you pour the milk, you're a psycho. I'm like, what the fuck? This shit's good either way.
Dude, okay, but like, hear me out real quick. We'll get back on topic here in a second. Let me just go off here for a moment. Pouring the milk first makes so much sense. And let me explain why.
Okay. Let's hear your perspective.
I personally do not like soppy, soggy cereal. Like, I don't like when it gets super soggy where it falls apart super easy. I hate the consistency.
Yeah.
Now, when you pour the milk first and then you pour the cereal in next, all the cereal's on top, so you control how much milk goes into the cereal.
Interesting.
So because I love crunchy cereal, I like the milk. I love it being coated in milk.
You could just keep going, but I'll pour in a little bit, crunchy. I'll pour in the next bit, crunchy.
Even pouring in a lot, it just sits on top of each other, floating at the top. So you can just kind of take your spoon, push it under, and scoop it out, and it's still crunchy, but you still got the milk around it. It's perfect. It's how I like my cereal. I don't usually do that, but to me it makes more sense to pour milk first.
Told you we changing shit. We normalizing milk first.
We bring in, that's what we're bringing to the music industry.
That's what we bring into the table. We bring in bowls full of milk, and then we gonna hand you the cereal. So.
And if you refuse, then no cereal for you.
Yeah,
right?
you could drink the milk. That's cool.
Yeah, just have the milk. I'm actually just found out I'm lactose intolerant, so I have to drink almond milk now.
Bro, there becomes an age where it's like people have allergies and they grow out of it. It's like people grow into being lactose intolerant.
Which is so weird because it is possible to just suddenly become lactose intolerant. And it's like,
it's true.
It happened to me. And I found out when I went on this cruise back in December.
Yeah.
I was just eating a shit ton of ice cream. All you can eat ice cream on the self-serve, soft serve machines or whatever. and just I'd be in the bathroom for 20 minutes, and I was like, what the hell is going on with me right now? I'm just like, this sucks. Like, this is ruining my trip. And then at the end of the trip, I was like, holy shit, I might be lactose intolerant. And now I am. Well, I haven't been diagnosed with it at a doctor's, but
Oh, we don't got the doctor notes.
yeah, we don't got the doctor notes. But every time I drink milk, it's not fun in the next couple hours. That's all I'm gonna say on that matter.
I mean, I know a lot of people who are not lactose intolerant growing up, but now they're lactose intolerant. But the funny thing is about like lactose intolerant people, it's like it's a meme, so people know this shit. It's like you're really still not lactose intolerant. You're gonna get that ice cream if you're feeling for it. At least that's how I am.
So that's how I am. Like if I don't eat much dairy anymore or drink it just cuz, but sometimes I'm just like I don't even give a shit. Give me that ice cream and I just go crazy. But on that note,
On the side note, we about to bring it right back.
bro, on that side note, we're going to have to get everyone on Storm Tour to eat milk first with then the cereal.
Fuck no, bro. That's not happening. People that we going with on Storm Tour, we ain't even drinking milk. We're on some, like, people be on a very good diet, I'd say. Like, I'm impressed with the artists that I see out here, like, the diets they put in it. They put me on a lot of stuff. But we gonna be eating right out there. And y'all feel the energy when we come out for a show. We ain't gonna be on some no sluggish shit, no, like, drunk shit. It's like we're bringing that energy.
This shit gonna go crazy. I'm so pumped. It's crazy because we're literally driving out 10 hours to LA just for one day, the concert, driving back the next day.
We're legit driving 2 days because there and back, and we only gonna be there one day. But it's gonna be a fun time. Like y'all will see it, so stay tuned.
So I got another question for you. So you seem to, from my perspective, you seem like you always just going, you want to grind, bro. You always making music, you always practicing. How is it you keep yourself motivated to just keep going? Like everyone loses motivation at some point or another, but you know, we always learned how to. It's all about learning how to get yourself, forcing yourself to go. And what drives you? What motivates you to get out of that laziness, that demotivation that you feel sometimes? Like what gets you to just get up and just do it when you don't want to?
It's like, I don't know. It's like it's like, I don't know. This feels natural. It's like, this is just a routine in my day. It's what I like doing. If I'm like trying to find like some peace in the day, or I'm trying to make sense of things, it's like, oh, I can like go in the studio. I can like hop on a mic. I can express out what I'm thinking, and I can really figure out what I'm trying to do. Figure out like what ideas are in my head, things that are stopping me, feelings that I may be having. And a lot of things, like if I like say it out on like a song or whatever, I may like hear that and be like, damn, that's not really what I'm like feeling. That's not really what I want to do. And like in that way, I'm able to like try and make a better change in like my own life. And it's just like, it's just a habit. It's just a thing that like I really like doing. It benefits me a lot. So I'm gonna just keep doing it.
Yeah, that's something I've been really struggling with. Is like I have my passions, my things I want to do, right? And
Yeah.
lately I've just been really struggling with motivation, and it's just, and I know a lot of people do.
It's like a struggle. Like it's like I feel like everybody. It's like there's not one person that can't like that doesn't struggle with it. Like it's not supposed to be like super easy where it's like where it's like, okay, it's just super easy for me to go make this verse, super easy for me to go make this podcast or whatever, because there's no growth in that. It's like you learn nothing from like just winning and just breezing through, and like you have a fun time, but you don't really learn nothing from it for you to take it to the next time. So it's also like knowing that in a sense too. It's like when stuff gets hard, a lot of people like cut their motivation or start doubting stuff. But it's like when stuff gets hard, that's where like honestly a lot of times the real work begins.
Yeah, I have some quotes that I've invented myself that when I think of these quotes, it helps motivate me. but the problem is remembering to think of these quotes.
Yeah.
It's so like for example, just one of them is remember your willpower. That's the quote. Remember your willpower. And the reason I say that is I believe everyone has a lot more willpower than they think. And obviously it still takes time to train that willpower and grow it, but naturally I
Right.
think a lot more I think everybody has more willpower than they truly believe when they haven't really tested
Like,
it, you know?
have you ever heard of the 40% rule?
It sounds familiar. What is it?
So I read a book called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, which I think is a really good book. You should honestly read it if you ever have time to. But he talks about this 40% rule. This dude, he used to be a Navy SEAL, and then he started running ultra marathons. So very long sprints, like 100-mile sprints. But the thing he talks about with the 40% rule, because he trains all his life, he pushes his body to exert more than what his mind like really wants him to. Because everybody has that like voice that's be like, damn, you're tired of shit. Damn, you should give up. Damn, I don't know if you could like lift up this like weight or like go the extra mile. And he calls that like the 40% rule. Because it's just like an engine on your car. It's going to stop it kind of before it gets to the maximum capacity. Because when you are pushing those levels, when you are getting to like 80-90%, you can hurt yourself. You are like pushing yourself to a very like maximized potential state. So like you could hurt something, you could get injured. So your body has that protection mechanism that stops you at like 40%. It's the same thing with willpower. Anything you're trying to do in life, but you're using your will to put change into it. It's like too much. Like you really use all your power, you might change that thing like for something you really didn't want to do unless you were focused enough. You knew how to push those parts out of yourself because you know you needed that to do what you were doing. But it's like most people just get stopped at like 40%. They don't realize they have so much more in the gas tank that they could just keep going.
Yeah, one thing about it is for me like when I think of that exact phrase, remember your willpower, it makes me think I'm stronger than this. I can like even when it comes to stuff like just feeling demotivated to do something,
Yeah.
when I remind myself remember your willpower, it makes it so much easier to think I have control over my life. I'm in control of my life.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get up and I'm going to go sit down at that computer, plan my next podcast. I'm going to start that Twitch stream. I'm going to start writing down that book that I'm trying to write, right? It's
true.
like it's just you're in control of your life, so why don't you take control and do what you want to do?
And what I kind of like how like because you said that it was like your problem was it's like the affirmations always help me. It's the problem is remembering them, and it's cool because when you say, all right, when I remember that, when I just remind myself I have more willpower, like just reminding yourself adds that fuel to it. It's like sometimes you just need to remember who you are. Just get reminded. You don't need to like get all this other shit, like figure out all this other stuff. Sometimes you just gotta look in and just be like, I'm that one. I'm the person who's doing this. And you find you really do have a lot more. I feel like everybody inside them has something like that can withstand like anything that's indestructible. It's like you just gotta like it's just in there to find it. But everybody has it where they have something in them, some type of energy that legit can withstand anything, and you can go through anything with it. But
Yeah, it's
makes me think.
a beautiful thing. Willpower is, and
We went from milk first to the willpower.
which
Because
I mean,
a lot of y'all cannot break the will to just put the cereal first. It's like put the milk first.
that's really what everyone's gonna be taken from this episode is that we're gonna start putting milk first and then the
Yeah.
cereal.
But for the real listeners, y'all actually hear like the deep shit. Y'all hear like the real like thoughts. This is just open and bare for y'all. Like not really much filtration. So
So kind of back on the music note. I know we're kind of jumping around here and there a little bit, but
I swear to God, if you hear our phone conversations, it'd be the same shit. That's why we're like, oh, maybe we should do a podcast episode because low key, we just be thinking of stuff and we just keep going.
We just on another level that just where we just jumping from this thing to that thing, and it's.
But I ain't gonna lie, we be talking about some real stuff, and I feel like that's the reason why like we met in 9th grade and we're still here, like connected, still doing stuff. it's because we allow ourselves to really like have our ideas and try and make stuff with it.
So
And we make some dope stuff with it. Like seeing this setup here, like I was saying like earlier, it's like we got like 4 computers in here. And if you count like our phones and like that stuff, that's like 6 computers. It's like this stuff is leveled up. I used to come in here and this was a bedroom. And like we'd play video games and shit. Now we come here, we work. We're out with y'all. We're hanging out with y'all. So still happy to be here.
what was crazy is we've known each other for 8 or 9 years. There's periods of time where we'd kind of stop talking for a while, but then like one of us would call the other, and it's like, bro, I was literally just thinking of calling you, and it's like we haven't even talked in 6 months.
Bro, it's like
And
certain people in your life, you notice they're on like a different vibration where it's like you're just connected already. And it's like some people come into your life and they like have that frequency too.
And those are the ones you really want to hang on to, especially if they are good for your life, you know?
But I feel like the real ones, it's like it's not a thing where you have to hang on to. It's like
it just kind of stays.
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to say?
It's like I feel like it's just relationships are like always building, and there becomes points in some relationships where it's too much on one person or too much on both people to keep building, because relationships are always work and it's always growth, or it could go the other way if there's not attention being put on it. And it's not to say there's anything bad on those relationships that kind of wither away and you don't put as much attention on it, but there are certain people that you're locked in with, that you're really growing, you're really developing like each other in your lives. And I feel like the more people you can have around you that are beneficial in that way, the better. But also, not full with that statement, because I feel like you can't be everybody's friend too. But it's kind of where the vibe goes in. It's where you notice the shit. So it goes to a level where I can't really comprehend sometimes, but it works. Intuition. That's a good word for it, honestly. Anyways, if y'all try and talk to me in real life, that's what y'all get. I'm blanking. I'm just kidding. I really like a lot of people. I'm cool with like pretty much everybody, if like unless you give me a reason to not be cool with you. I really have a lot of love for a lot of people. So
I mean, yeah.
Nothing more to really say on that.
That mattered. So back to my question that I had for you 46 minutes ago.
Has it been that long?
No, not.
I was about to be like, what?
All right. So, what? This is on the music topic, but what made you want to pursue music? Like, what was the first thing that you were like, whoa, I want to be an artist. I want to pursue this passion and career. Like, why did it become your passion and now your desire for it to become your life and your career?
Low-key, I feel like ever since I was little, I always had like a passion. Like, I wanted to do something big. I wanted to be something great. And it's like there was a lot of different things that I'd like go into, and I would be like thinking like, this is it. But it was like pieces of a puzzle, like led me to like this step. Like, I used to want to be a WWE superstar before, because I just like the way that they put on shows and the way they entertain people. I didn't even care if it was like fake fighting, but like I still liked the entertainment. And then I wanted to be a basketball player, because I was like, oh, I see like the work and like dedication and kind of like craft that they put into this, and they're able to compete at a high level. And I'd of course always loved music. Like growing up, my parents, like I lived in a Jamaican household, so music was definitely very, very big. I took influence from a lot of different genres. When I got into like high school, I had a class where it was kind of production, where I had a keyboard and I was able to kind of make beats and stuff. And from there I was like, damn, I gotta get myself my own keyboard. So I did that, started making beats, and it was just a random day. Me and my next door neighbor were just kicking it. We're like, bro, let's just write a song. We wrote the song and we put it out the same night. And low-key, ever since then, I kind of just had this hunger. I was like, damn, I fucking love this shit. I want to keep doing it. And like, I'd say like today, the hunger is probably bigger than it was before, because I just still love doing this shit. So yeah, that's kind of like a story of why I started.
I like it. It's a very like what's the word? It's like you found this passion pretty much since you were very little,
It's like,
which kind of begs the question: who, who's what, who, which musical artist has kind of inspired you the most?
like I think Bob Marley honestly inspired me the most, and it's weird because probably out of like a lot of artists that I put in my list that have inspired me, I probably listen to a lot of their own music more on repeat than Bob Marley. But I know like I've definitely listened deep in Bob Marley, but it's like more than even his music, the way this person was and the type of impact that I saw a person could have with music. So I'd say Bob Marley is probably one of the bigger impacts, like for me musically.
Bob Marley, I like it. That's a
Yeah,
I don't really hear his name too much anymore.
it's true. I last time I was in Jamaica, if you look at his house, his wife turned it into a museum.
A museum?
Yeah,
Dang,
so
that's
when
sick.
when he got like some money, he pretty much moved on the same street as like the prime minister, just right down the street. And his like whole idea was making records out of his house, where somebody can just drive through, just buy a record. And he has a studio in there, so you get to go in there. You don't get to take pictures or anything. Excuse me, but you're able to see the studio. You're able to see how he just lived upstairs. You're able to see all the records he made. And Loki's just being there, you kind of just feel the energy in that place. It's like, oh, some real stuff went down in here. You even see in the back of his house, there was a time before a concert, some people came up, shot up his whole house. They even got him like on the arm, and he still performed the same night. You could still see the bullet holes there. So,
They never fixed it.
yeah.
Damn.
So I like that place. That place gave me a big, just because I love Bob Marley so much, that place definitely like gave my mind a place to just soak in a lot of good energy and a lot of good vibrations, as he would probably call it.
See, I didn't know that his house turned into a museum. Now that's a place I want to visit eventually.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
travel to
Everybody go
Jamaica.
visit. If you in Jamaica and Kingston, go hit it up. Like, it'll just be called the Bob Marley Museum, so it'll be easy to find.
Yeah, that's sounds fun. So sorry, I'm trying to get back into this because it's been 4 months, I think.
4 months.
4 months since my last podcast because me and the co-host we just
Damn,
things
4
things came
months?
up in our life and then we just kind of been slacking since those things, and so we just like I said, motivation and stuff, and I'll get these random bursts of motivation. I want to do a podcast again, and then it falls through just because I don't get into action, and then this
Yeah.
this storm
So
tour
then,
popped
like,
up.
yeah, let me saying that, let me flip the question back on you. What's the reason, like, why are you doing podcasts? What's the reason I got you to start doing podcasts?
Podcast. I mean, that's kind of a tough question because it really stems back to my childhood when I was like,
Yeah.
maybe. I mean, honestly, it all started. It kind of, as long as I can remember, I've always loved making videos. I'd make dumb videos with my friends
I
when I was
remember.
6 years old. Even when I was 6, I'd make stupid videos, right? And then eventually I moved to YouTube, where when I was 8 or 9, I was making Club Penguin videos. I was making skit videos in Club Penguin, right? And it was which one of those channels still exists. My main one didn't, but one of them does.
Go
And
find it.
and then when I was like 10, 11, as I started getting into, like, I was watching Smosh, huge, one of my favorite YouTubers back then. I was super inspired by them to make YouTube videos and skit videos just like them. I wanted to be just like Smosh.
I was inspired by KSI.
So
You remember that?
yeah. But it's like I'd make skit videos, and then eventually I got into parkour. Like I said, I grew up doing parkour with my family. so I started making parkour videos for several years, and when I stopped especially after I got a back injury that is still to this day, I kind of stopped doing parkour, but I transitioned into trying to make gaming YouTube videos, with Tyler and all my other friends, and then I stopped for a while and then kind of got back into it couple, 3 years ago or so. I even tried vlogging at one point or another, and it all kind of just stems from my desire to create online content, and then at one point I started this podcast, almost 2 years ago, when it was called Out at Recess. I released like 3 episodes, and what made me want to start that was just, that's when I kind of started listening to podcasts, and I was like, it sounds fun to just like I love talking. I love having deep conversations with my friends. And if people enjoy listening to that, why not see if I can just record it and just throw it out there and make it a form of content, right? Because I love making content. Why not just film my conversations essentially?
Same thing.
And so that's kind of my inspiration for content creation and just kind of putting myself out there. I want to get to know people. I want to meet new people and have conversations with people, and that's my inspiration, is just providing a form of content while being able to kind of put myself out there. And
yeah, it's like giving yourself a platform to really connect with people.
Essentially, that's kind of what you're kind of doing with your music, right?
Very true.
You're not only using platforms, but you're creating your own platform essentially.
It's like back in the day, it's like people used to go to the whatever it was, the saloon, whatever. It's like, all right, we going down here. This is where everybody meets. It's like today, it's like, okay, we're all meeting up online. Whether like we don't even know. It's like, okay, we're meeting up on Instagram today. Let's get the squad to meet up on Instagram. We're all sending memes and shit. It's like, oh, we're meeting up on YouTube. It's like you see a YouTuber put up his like video, people go there to hang out in the comment sections and talk to them.
We're like talk to each other.
It's like low-key, we're going to these online spaces to connect. So it's kind of like it's just a wave of things. But yeah, I feel like we doing it without even doing it. People talk about the metaverse. It's like, oh, we're just gonna like go meet up online and like all this stuff. Like we're not already doing this shit.
I think what scares people with that is just that it's starting to mix reality with the online universe, you could call it, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's for a topic for another day. I don't want to get into the metaverse or anything today. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Like it's like essentially we're already doing that. We've been doing that for decades, like literally decades now. Just like early 2000s chat boxes.
Yeah.
That's people coming together to just essentially hang out online and talk about, maybe if it's like I went to this Club Penguin chat box, which was when I was 8 years old, and
I remember when I was younger, like 8 years old, there's this thing called Movie Star Planet, and it was so lit. You can like, you were just this player, and like you could get like girlfriends and shit.
What?
And you could just be a movie star. You're out in different, like you just
playing
go to
with
different
other players?
locations. Yeah.
Oh
you just
shit!
go
I've
to
never
different
heard
locations and talk to people. It was fun. But
yeah, it's like, and then even online gaming, you're coming together with people, hanging out.
this is like
whatever.
This is all we do to like create cool shit. We just come together.
And it's beautiful.
It's real
It
beautiful.
really is.
Just like this sparkling Kirkland tea.
Tea. It's just it's flavored with carbonated water.
I'm royal tea. Everything a tea.
Royal
I'm
tea. Not sponsored, by the way. I've said that a few times already. But I mean, Kirkland, come on, bro.
Hey,
Hook a homie up. All right, now I got kind of as we kind of move to the end of the podcast, I got one last kind of serious question for you.
Yeah.
Now, if right now the entire world was listening to you,
Shit.
what would you tell the world? What do you want to tell? What is your message to the world if everyone in the world was listening to you right now? which one day they might be. When
I
you've
say-
made it, when you're up there, they're gonna be listening, and this is what you have to tell them.
I say love yourself, and you're the greatest. Like, you're the greatest, whatever you are. And just love that part of you.
It's deep. I like it.
It's a lot of pressure. I'm like, damn, talking to the whole world, it's like,
Which
yeah.
it's kind of interesting if you think about it. Like, I mean, this half on topic on this, but with the we like make these videos, right? Let's say it's like you're recording and you're like, oh, only a few people are gonna see it, so it's like maybe you're not camera shy or anything. But then now you're thrown in front of a live audience of 1 million people, and you're like, or a lot of people just freeze up. They'd get nervous, right? It's like so many people, but it's like anything you put online potentially could be seen by millions of people, even if it doesn't at first, right? So it's really like what you say could literally reach the world.
And I feel like
And
that's
it's-
why, like, that pressure, like, it's not bad that you have that pressure. It's like, when you are, like, speaking out to, like, a greater scale, it's like certain things that work for smaller groups of people aren't going to work for, like, a mass group of people. Sometimes you may need more thought or more attention in a different area. And that pressure kind of drives you to kind of focus your message. What do you really want to say to everybody if you could say it? If I'm just talking to a friend, I could talk a lot of shit. If I'm talking to the whole world and I feel like whatever I'm saying like will have an influence on them, I'm going to try and say it with the best intentions I can.
On that note, it's I agree. Like, just be the best person you can, and
Honestly, because I feel like, okay, maybe, like, we're all in this place where really anybody can be blown up by the internet. So I feel like there could be a time for you where the whole world really is watching. So it's like, but I know that time won't be forever. That time won't last long. So it's very important what you'd want to do. It's very important, like, how you'd really want to treat the world, because I feel like that's the way the world will treat you. Yeah, on some deep shit. Got
So-
me thinking.
So April 2nd,
Yep.
L.A.
April 2nd.
Is it and then April
At
23rd,
Monk Place in L.A.
Monk Place in L.A. I'll have all the link. I'll have the link to the tickets and the Storm Tour in the description below.
There's really only, like, there's not that many tickets left. Like, we have a lot of
12
dates
left?
that have already sold out. Yeah, it was 20 this morning, so not even this morning, like midday. So that stuff maybe sold out, so y'all better be quick on it.
And then Miami, April 23rd.
Yeah,
Is that sold out already?
that one is sold out.
That's crazy.
But you never know what might be happening. Like, if we are trying to really provide for everybody, it's just these spaces that we're in, they do have, like, capacities. When we hit these capacities, like, we do have to sell it out. We can't sell any more tickets at the moment. But, like, if you guys really want it, we'll make something happen to get more of y'all in. So if you guys want it, we'll get it for y'all.
Anyways, you want to plug your Instagram one more time just so that they can.
So if you're trying to hit up my Instagram, it's royal_T_lane7. That's where you'll be able to see everything. Anything that's happening with the Storm Tour, you'll be able to see it there. And go hit that up. If you're trying to hit me up on streaming platforms, it's Royal T with the lightning bolt. Even on SoundCloud if you're trying to hit me up there. But go to the Instagram. I'll have a plug for any platform that you're trying to get to if you're trying to experience some of my content. As always, I appreciate y'all for taking the time out and experiencing something that I made. So if you do hit that link, here's a thank you already.
And if you guys want to follow this podcast on social media, it's just out at Reese's. That's like the candy, except it's like the candy out at Reese's. But
Discuss.
Twitter, Instagram, what else? YouTube. I mean, I can't even remember what else platforms. I'll have a link tree with all the links to the podcast and social media in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you, Tyler, for coming on today. This
Yes,
was
sir.
this was definitely new for the podcast. We haven't really had a guest before, and after coming back after 4 months, it was kind of nice to just have like a refreshing, podcast.
Yeah, this was the first time doing it, and I didn't really know how podcasting was gonna go, but this is very fun. I can see myself hopping on here a couple more times.
I wasn't sure how the podcasting would go either today.
It was fun.
But
So-
anyways, thank you guys so much for listening, watching, and subscribing. If you guys liked it, make sure to hit like, follow, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Yeah.
Peace.
Out. We out at Reese's.